So we've introduced a couple of new vocabulary words. The first is parallel, and I do have two parallel lines here on the board in front of me. The other new word is transversal, a line that intersects two or more lines, and I have a transversal in this picture. Today we're going to put the two ideas together. If I have parallel lines cut by a transversal, we get a ton of properties. If I pull down a protractor here, and you look closely, you'll see on the left-hand side, I get an angle that's 60 degrees, and on the right-hand side, I get an angle that's 120 degrees. So I get a 60-degree angle over here, and a 120-degree angle here. If I then take that protractor and move it up, I get the same two angle measures. I have a 60-degree angle on the left and a 120-degree angle on the right. Now we can use, and I should definitely use double tick marks there. Now we can use vertical angles to fill in the other four angles. Because again, vertical angles are congruent. That is also 120, and so is this one. And then this angle is 60, and so is this one. When you're looking at parallel lines cut by a transversal, you see the same two angle measures over and over and over again. We can generalize these properties as follows. If we have two parallel lines, again, they need to be parallel. If we have two parallel lines cut by a transversal, then corresponding angles, the ones in the same position, we'll notice our corresponding angles, like top left and top left, those are congruent. Corresponding angles are congruent. Alternate interior angles are also congruent, and so are alternate exterior angles. There's a ton of congruency there. And again, you can look at this picture and see that. Your corresponding are congruent, your alternate exterior are congruent, and so are your alternate interior. Not everything is congruent though. Consecutive angles, both on the interior and the exterior, are supplementary. So they add up to 180 degrees. The property that I was using earlier, vertical angles, those can come back as well. Vertical angles are always congruent. And then you can also have supplementary angles from linear pairs. Linear pairs are supplementary. So we see the same two properties over and over and over again. Things are either congruent or they're supplementary. I'll go ahead and do the first example in the same video, and then we'll put the next one in a subsequent video. So the goal here is to identify each angle pair as either congruent or supplementary. And then we need to give our reasoning. This isn't a full-on proof with a ton of steps. We just need one reason as to why the angle pair is congruent or supplementary. So let's look at the first one, angle 3 and angle 5. Notice they're on opposite sides of the transversal, so they're alternate, and they are between the two parallel lines, so they are interior. Alternate interior angles are congruent. That's all there is to it, just identifying the angle pair and then looking at your notes, are they congruent or supplementary? Let's jump down one, angles 1 and 8. Now those are on the same side of the transversal, so they're consecutive. They're also both outside, so they are consecutive exterior, which makes them supplementary. Consecutive exterior angles are supplementary. Next we have 2 and 6. Now 2 and 6, one's on the exterior, the other's on the interior, so that doesn't help. But notice they are in the same position. They're both in the top right corner. So they are corresponding angles. Take a look at your notes. Is corresponding congruent or supplementary? Did you get it? Let's jump down. 1 and 7 are on opposite sides of the transversal, so they are alternate. They are also on the exterior, so they are alternate exterior angles, which makes them congruent. 4 and 5. 4 and 5 are on the same side of the transversal, consecutive and interior because they're between the parallel lines. So consecutive interior angles are supplementary. 3 and 7 once again sticks us in a position where we have one angle on the interior and one on the exterior, so we need the other vocab word. Notice they are in the same position as one another, so they are corresponding. Corresponding angles are congruent. So angles 5 and 6 are going to take us back. Note they're not one of the new vocabulary words. Rather, they come together to form a line, so they are a linear pair. Linear pairs are supplementary. And then last but not least, 2 and 4 will also take us back to some previous vocab. Angles 2 and 4 are not one of the new ones. Rather, they are a vertical pair. I guess we would just say vertical angles. And vertical angles are congruent. So that takes us through the first example. I'll go ahead and put example 2 in the next video. See you soon.